there's an illusion of separation. Nothing is holy and nothing is not holy. Everything is one. The whole idea of making something holy or special is an ego trip. Welcome to Satsang.
Why do some spiritual seekers develop a persona of being holy, do you think?
I think that's what they believe they're supposed to be like. What my master Osho kept saying over and over again is to be authentic, to be yourself. And whatever your personality is like before enlightenment, it's going to be the same after enlightenment to the majority of a degree. So you're going to present yourself, if you're teaching people, for instance sake, with the personality you had before enlightenment. It's not going to become suddenly holy because you wake up. That's rubbish. I think that people do put on a certain amount of holiness or present themselves in that light because I think they're supposed to, but it's just rubbish. If you wake up and you find yourself as truth, just be real. Be yourself. There's no need to put on airs, there's no need to be holy.
Is enlightenment or anything holy?
Is anything holy? And that would create an idea of separation. Everything is one. There's an illusion of separation. Nothing is holy and nothing is not holy. Everything is one. The whole idea of making something holy or special is an ego trip.
How should a seeker be to find enlightenment?
How should a seeker be to what?
To find enlightenment.
How should they be? Yeah. I'm not sure of the question. It doesn't make sense.
Well, what attributes, if cultivating this air of holiness or whatever is the wrong direction, what sort of attributes should they cultivate in order to create the right ground for enlightenment?
Cultivating anything is the wrong ground, because enlightenment has nothing to do with the mind. It's when awareness becomes aware of itself. And a mind that will support that in an ongoing way is a mind that is surrendered. It's not a mind that is resisting life, fighting with God, shaking its fist. It's a mind that is equanimous, a mind that can take a hit without closing and give a hit without closing, a mind that stays level. And so it's not about becoming anything. You already are beingness. You already are truth. You can't become it.
So, if you can't become it, what's an accurate description of what it is or what needs to be gotten rid of in order to find it?
That was 2 questions. Would you like to ask me 1 question?
Sure. What's an accurate description of enlightenment then?
Well, enlightenment is simply awareness being aware of itself continuously, 24 hours a day. But it can't really be described because what we are has no reference points, and we describe things through reference points. And so the truth, that we are, cannot really be described. It can be known as self when awareness turns on itself, whether that's temporary in a satori or ongoing in enlightenment, but it can't really be described in words.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any questions? Any statements? Any challenges to anything that's been said here tonight? Or does anyone have anything they'd like to chat about? Yeah.
I find myself being more closed with people that have a strong character. Why is this and how can I fix it so I'm not close to it anymore?
Well, I'd hazard a guess that people that you deem to have strong characters are operating out of a certain level of yang energy, which is outward bound energy. And the reason you're having trouble with them is because you're frightened of them. And so the closure is a reaction created by fear. But you'll have to look inside yourself to see the truth of that. Me giving you the answer doesn't help you very much. You need to have a look at for yourself and see if that's true. And then you might be able to see that you can do something about it. Anything else?
What is the best way to undo that fear?
No, don't support it. Fear only has power because it's supported. If you don't support fear, it loses its power. The understanding of fear helps. The understanding that fear is a projection forward. It is not in any way real. It's imaginary. Anything else? Okay. Hello, Ananda Tirtha.
Can doing yoga help to wake up or to get enlightened?
Well, I did do yoga for many years. I found it was a very poor place to pick women up. A lot of people who get into yoga get into it because they're suffering and their life's not working and they're trying to do something physical that might be painful to take them away from their emotional pain. But I got into yoga, I think, in 1983, and I did it for about 30 years. And I loved it. I loved the movements. I love the stillness of it, because it really does demand that you be very still. I didn't get into any of the active yoga or the hot yoga. I got into the yoga where you held the positions for long periods. And I love the stillness and the silence in it. But I don't know if it helped towards enlightenment or not. It looked like it was helping open things up inside of me. But really, if that's not done with the mind at the same time, physical yoga alone won't work. Because the body is just following the mind. If the mind is closed, opening the body up isn't going to open the mind up. It just doesn't work that way. You have to work on the mind. You have to do yoga of the mind. And so true yoga is a combination of physical asanas, but also an understanding of what it's all about, the spirituality behind it, and the practice of that also. modern yoga, I don't think, has much to do with higher consciousness or spirituality.
Yes, that's been my experience too. I was yesterday doing some yoga and some breathing exercises, like activating some stuff just to get still at the beginning. Does that help something in the energy body to do the breathing stuff?
Well, a lot of people have a lot of trouble being still, and yoga well, certain forms of yoga at least, demand that you be still, and those particular forms of yoga are very good.
Yeah.
A lot of people do yoga for some kind of exercise, but that's not what it was designed for.
Yes.
Anything else, Tirtha?
It's good to see you, Rich. Thank you.
Good to see you too, Tirtha. Yes.
Yesterday you replied to someone regarding criticism. You said that if you are scared of criticism, something like that, if you are scared of criticism, how will you learn? I really found this helpful because I am scared of criticism as well.
Where's your mind now?
I don't know.
Good place for it to be. Hello, Willow.
I feel a lot of confusion.
What's going on, Willow?
It's in this warm welcoming of everything. There comes this question, how could I know anything? Like, how could I know that it wasn't supposed to be exactly like this?
Yeah, you're seeing the absurdity of thinking you know.
And then I get so confused.
So warmly welcome confusion.
The game of being human seems so ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, well, it's just a spacesuit, and it has an onboard computer that thinks it's a somebody, but it's not what we are. It's not who we are. But it's pretty good to have a spacesuit. It's pretty good to have an onboard computer, even if it is a bit nuts. You know?
Yeah, I think something was awoke yesterday about this quite tough teaching. I loved it, but it started to question a lot about why I am not able to speak my truth. And it's like, and then this, how could I know? It's like this controlling, like to control anything. How it's even possible? It's not possible.
So let go, let go, let go. There's nothing to understand. There's nothing you need to understand. Just let go and be okay with whatever is. Yeah.
it's burning, it's burning. Oh.
Is there anything else, Willow? Nice to see you today, Willow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Willow. Frida Ramos, hello.
Hello, this is my first Satsang class. I'm Frida. Very nice to meet you.
Hello.
So one question I have is, so would enlightenment be kind of just like living in your truth, your fullest truth?
Yeah, that would be true, but without you, because you're a figment of your own imagination. And without imagination, you don't exist. But what you are is real. What you are is pure beingness, and it's always here. But it's not the I. The I is an imaginary character that pretends to be you and can change itself into almost anything to get acceptance from others. But it's not real. Someone who's awake doesn't have an I anymore. They're living as beingness, which is a different way to live. It's more of an existence than living, because beingness was never born and it cannot die. But the body and the mind can. And so before the mind, you are. And the object of the seeker is to find that is before the mind. What is aware of your mind? What is this that's always there that is aware of what you're thinking? What is this? And this is the quest, because when this that's aware of the mind turns on itself, you find yourself as the universe, because that's actually what we truly are. Now, if it stays aware of itself, that's enlightenment. But there's no I left after that. The I doesn't make it to enlightenment. It disappears before enlightenment. So,
Thank you.
how are you going with all of that, Frida?
Good, good. I feel like I've been kind of having this idea already, and I'm slowly understanding it more and more. Another question I have is, I'm a teacher, and I think about how is this something that we can kind of plant, like planting this kind of idea, this seed in children. So, as I teach them, that they just start having these ideas at a young age, or is it better that, we as humans go through life figuring this out on our own? I don't know, what do you think about that?
So there's a problem with teaching kids anything because their parents might not agree with what you're teaching them. But one thing you can teach them, which takes people to higher consciousness, is the way of the heart, the way of being generous, the way of being kind, the way of being loving, the way of being a giver instead of a taker. And that heads kids towards higher consciousness, and it doesn't usually cross any boundaries with any other religions, which is always a problem, for a teacher. Where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from Boca Raton, Florida, but my family's Mexican.
Ah, so you're in Mexico City?
No, I'm in Florida.
Ah, you're in Florida, right. That's a retirement village, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm hoping to leave as soon as possible, but for now, this is where I'm meant to be. So I'm working with what I have and just working with life, and excited to see where I will be headed.
Well, if you with heart, what supports it or what allows the perception of heart is openness. In closedness, we don't perceive much heart. In defendedness, we don't perceive much heart. And so if we're going for heart, we've got to find ways to take down our defense systems and be more open. And in that quest, we start finding heart. And that changes how we are in the world to everyone. Because when heart or love affects the mind, we just want to take care of everybody and everything. And this is a beautiful way to live for any human being, the way of the heart, which is what Christianity is supposed to be teaching. It's what the Muslim religion is supposed to be teaching. It's what Buddhism is supposed to be teaching. All the Hinduism as well. It's what they're all supposed to be teaching. But it's really simple. Belief systems aren't required. Openness is. How open can you be?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
It's nice that you've said hello to me, Frida.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mahan, what have you got today?
Hello, Vishrant.
Sorry, did I wake you up?
No, not this time.
Okay.
There's some questions from online viewers.
Yeah.
About creativity asks, is this community inclusive or exclusive? Can people of any culture become enlightened?
Enlightenment has nothing to do with any religion. It's just a possibility for all human beings if their consciousness levels get high enough for them to stay open in all circumstances. Religion has nothing at all to do with it. I see what I'm actually teaching is reality, because beingness is what we really are. It is not religious, it is not spiritual, it is the truth. Anything else, Mahan?
And Nesta asks, what is the best way to go total with this? I want to go all the way, Vishrant. We don't know each other. How should I proceed to immerse myself completely?
Nestor, I've been reading your comments on my videos, so I know a little bit about you. I can only really talk about my path as that worked. And that was, I became, first of all, devotional towards Jesus as a Christian. And then I became devotional towards Osho as my spiritual master. And then I became devotional towards my Advaita Vedanta teachers. In devotion, you find love. In love, you surrender unconditionally and you find yourself as truth. The best way is devotion. But as Westerners, most of us aren't used to the idea of devotion, so it's pretty difficult. But I don't know another way that works better. I loved Jesus, I loved Osho, I loved my Advaita Vedanta teachers, and I loved God. And I gave my life to God, unconditionally. Anything else, Mahan?
Stefano asks, actually it's just a statement. I realized that I had given up on enlightenment when I met you. I'm ready to get back to work on uplifting my energy field. I wanted to say hello personally and start playing with you all.
Well then, why don't you contact me and talk to me instead of writing to Mahan? That would be nice. Anything else?
Saeed asks, what are the practices I should start to attain high consciousness?
The main practice is witnessing the mind. You develop a silent witness that just watches the mind without judgment. So you're detached from the mind to some degree, and then you start to see how the mind is operating. And because you can see how the mind is operating, you see the things that are actually in the way of higher consciousness, which gives you the opportunity to remove them. Seeing through the mind, removing the obstacles that are in the way, is the path to higher consciousness. But this begins by witnessing the mind. Instead of getting caught in the drama of the mind, the story of the mind, you simply watch the mind from a non-judgmental space. This is the beginning. Anything else, Mahan?
That's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahan. Hello, Gate.
Hello, Vishrant.
Hello.
Today, I noticed I was waiting for Satsang, and
You've lost your mind?
yes,
Let go then. Just let go. No need to get anything. No need to say anything. Just let go. It's okay. Hello, Zorba.
Hello, Vishrant.
Hello.
In the beginning, you spoke about the illusion of separation. Can you tell me what is it that makes that illusion happen?
Yeah, the ego thinks it's a somebody, thinks it's separate from everybody. But that's a thought, not a reality. The obstacle that's in the way of higher consciousness is the ego. The obstacle that's in the way of heart is the ego. The obstacle that's in the way of truth is the ego. But without the ego, you wouldn't go for higher consciousness either. And so it's a support as well. But if you witness the mind, you get to see it all. You get to see what it's up to. And you start to remove the things that are in the way, if you want to. My interest began when I was very young, and I started removing things when I was very young that were in the way. Because I started witnessing my mind when I was 14. First, I removed all limiting belief systems. Anything else, Sorba?
So apart from limiting belief systems, what are the other things?
I'm not going to answer this question. You just want me to do the work for you. You start having a look at your own mind and see what's in the way. It's up to you. You create your reality by the way you think. You are 100% responsible for your mind. If your mind is not supporting higher consciousness, that's your doing. Anything else?
Thank you, Shant. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Rajesh.
Hi, Vishrant.
Hello.
How do you combine not selling out on yourself and taking care of everyone at the same time?
You can't sell out on yourself if you're not there, Rajesh. Anything else?
I do have an unrelated question, which is, I was reading this web comic, and I thought it was a survival theme, but it was a hardcore romance comic. And I just kept reading it and feeling all relaxed and soft and mushy inside. So it opened me up actually. And I want to ask, is this good to do, or is this just the addict in me speaking, wanting to, sit behind the computer all day long?
When your interest becomes in silence and stillness, you know you're headed in the right direction. While you're still looking for entertainment outside of yourself, you're looking in the wrong direction. Anything else?
So anything that smells like entertainment. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Well, I used to entertain myself by present moment awareness to everything around me, because everything around me is real. I used to entertain myself by practicing openness, because that was fun. I used to entertain myself by self-inquiring, because I kept finding beingness. These forms of entertainment are pretty good for the spiritual seeker. Anything else?
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh. Stefano, hello. Roganti.
Hello, Vishrant. Can you hear me
Hello.
well?
I
Yeah.
can, yes.
Yeah, I was the one who asked you to say hello before, and I joined the Zoom. And thank you for this opportunity. And I wanted to talk to you because it's, I don't know, I feel very emotional now because it's the first time I felt that I can talk to a master, and I've given up for 4 years. And when I see you online, and I felt the master again, and I didn't even realize that I'd given up until I found you again.
Open your eyes and look at me, Stefano, because I'm here and I'm being with you.
Sorry.
Now you need to be with me, and I'll be with you. We'll have this deal, okay?
Thank you.
The seeker. Wait. The seeker in you has come alive again. Now it's up to you to keep the seeker alive, to keep the enthusiasm and the thirst alive. It's up to you. Because it's that thirst, it's that seeker that brings you home, nothing else. The seeker. Because the seeker will find a way if it gets desperate enough. It'll find a way. And something in you has lit again. It's on fire again. This is good news. I'm glad for you.
Me too.
Yeah.
And you know what I learned that this is important? When you stated again that Osho said, find a living master, because that master don't kick ass, and that's what I was missing.
Yeah, well, Osho said that. Osho said that. He said it quite a few times, but somehow people didn't hear him. And if you come to someone who's awake, and you've asked them to help you wake up, well, you're in a lot of ways got yourself involved in an undoing process, because we've got so many belief systems that are in the way, so many programs that are in the way. It's really an undoing and letting everything go process. And so you could say it's a destructive process, but a destructive process to set you free from all the weight that's been laid on you by your parents, your religion, your government, your peers. And so you strip down everything until there's nothing in the way. And an awake teacher will help you do that in ways that you probably won't like.
Yeah, because with watching videos, you never get your ass kicked. It's just that's what you're missing. And I feel now like
look at me, I'm here. You're just getting your ass kicked.
Thank you. I love it. I love it. Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
Where are you from, Stefano? Where are you from?
Italy.
And what part of Italy?
I'm from Italy.
Yeah, what part?
The center of Italy. The center. I'm near Tuscany, Umbria.
Yes, I've been there. I lived in Italy on Lago Maggiore in Trevabagna for 5 months.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Yeah, I loved it there. I loved it there. It was full of Italians.
It is. It's full of this.
You are very welcome. You are very welcome.
Thank you. Been waiting for this one. Thank you.
Well, if you keep joining me on public satsang, I'll invite you after a while to private satsang, because I have 3 public satsangs a week, and I do 4 private satsangs for my sangha a week. And the private satsangs are a little bit more intense, because I know that I'm going to see those people again the next day, and so I can do more work with people at the private satsangs. It's a traditional mystery school. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, my worry was, oh my God, these satsang are different times.
Yeah, over here.
Different time zone. And then today, without planning it, the notification popped up. I was free. I joined, and here I am. Without thinking about it, it's just the field that put me here. So
Beautiful.
I believe that.
Yeah, beautiful.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something's drawing you. Something's calling you. Come a little bit closer.
Yeah. I can't believe it. I really, I can't believe this. I just can't.
It is lovely to talk to you, but do you have anything else you'd like to talk about right now?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Okay. Ciao.
Thank you. Ciao.
Yes, Sai.
You spoke earlier about the yang and the outgoing energy. Is all outgoing energy in the way of enlightenment? Is it?
Heck no. It's an opportunity to surrender. Outgoing energy or yang energy, which can be quite aggressive, gives the potential for you to learn surrender, to learn acceptance of what is. And so when we're around rough people who are operating a lot of yang, we can learn acceptance, we can learn to let go. They are teachers if we want to use them as teachers. Or we can close up and go into resistance and create suffering in ourselves. But that's up to us as well. Whatever you choose to do is up to you. When I was around rough people, I learnt to surrender. I learnt to let go. I learnt to accept them. And so I used them as teachers. You don't learn acceptance, you don't learn surrender by everything working well. You learn it through the hard knocks. Anything else?
And what about from a personal point of view? Like, for me, is it all about becoming yin and having no outgoing yang energy at all?
Not at all. I operate from yin. I'm yin most of the time, but then when I want to be effective in the material world, I move to yang, and then back to yin. And so my energy shifts from being receptive, yin, receiving, to yang when I need to be effective in the material world. But always back home, almost immediately, to yin. Yin space is an open, receptive, undefended space. And we as humans are capable of it, but it does mean we have to take our defense systems down. We have to open up to operate from yin. We can't be defended. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay. Hello, Prem Abai.
Hi, Vishrant.
Hello.
when you go in yang to operate in the world, do you close inside?
Heck no. The moment you close, you cut yourself off from your own heart, and that would be a betrayal of heart. I'd rather die than do that. Anything else, Abhay?
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Abhaya, hello.
Hello, Vishrant. How relaxed do you have to be to like wake up?
Okay, that's a good question. If you got inside my head now, you'd wonder where Vishrant was. The mind is absolutely at peace. And before enlightenment, it was like this also. Enlightenment and the satoris that happened before always happened when my mind was incredibly relaxed. An uptight mind attracts awareness to itself and is actually in the way. A mind that is relaxed, cool, is the type of mind that will support satori. It's the type of mind that will support the way of the heart. It's the type of mind that will support enlightenment. Anything else, Abhaya?
No, nothing. Thank you.
It's good to see you, Abhaya.
Yeah, it's really nice to see you too.
Hello.
I watched your interview with Swaha.
Swaha.
Yeah. So in that interview, first time I have seen your eyes wide and blue. I don't see usually here your eyes like that.
No. My eyes close slowly because of the pain coming into me from the people in the room. When I was with Swaha, he's awake. There was no pain coming from him. He was sattvic. But most seekers are not sattvic. They're full of pain body. And when they come into the room with me, they open up and they start emptying their pain out. And it comes into me. And my eyes close automatically. Energy flows from full to empty. And someone who's awake is empty. And so everything flows into the awakened one. They're like a great big black hole. They absorb everything. Anything else?
Just thanks. Sorry for giving you pain.
I don't mind. I really don't care. Hello, Mahan.
Hello, Vishrant. There's some more questions from YouTube viewers.
Okay.
Narasimha asks, Hi Vishrant, how to accept what appears to be unacceptable?
Give yourself no choice whatsoever. If you give yourself no choice, you'll find a way. If you give yourself a choice, you'll never find a way. Anything else, Mahan?
And Hidden Uchiha asks, what do you do when you fight with yourself?
I definitely don't do that. Anything else?
And SE
Hang on.
asks,
They weren't asking me what do I do with myself when I fight with myself. They were asking about themselves, weren't they? But they put the question in a way that it could be misunderstood. If you're fighting with yourself, you're your own worst enemy. And in this game of higher consciousness, you actually have to become your own best friend. You have to be in support of yourself. You can't be in opposition to yourself. You have to be on your own side. And so every endeavour has to be made to change the patterning to being on your own side. Anything else, Mahan?
SE asks, what is the best path to enlightenment?
Okay, so in the marketplace, because I'm mostly talking to lay people, I'm not talking to monks or nuns or people who live in monasteries, the best way is the two paths together, the bhakti path, which is the path of the heart or the path of devotion, and the jnani path, which is the path of discipline. And you could say these two paths are like two wings, and when you practice them, you can fly. And so there needs to be a certain level of discipline to be present to what is real, a certain level of discipline to be able to self-inquire, a certain level of discipline to open up. With the way of the heart, that's more of a devotional thing. And so for me, I became devoted, first of all, to Jesus as my as God, and then I became devoted to my spiritual master Osho, and then I became devoted to my Advaita Vedanta teachers. And in that love affair, I learned how to die as an I. Anything else, Mahan?
That's all. Thank you.
Chase, hello.
Hi.
Hello, Chase.
Yes. I noticed my wanting to be on here with you and meet you, and I read your book and found your videos a few months ago. And yeah, noticing the mind getting really kind of stopping me from doing that because I might not knowing what to say or what to ask and still wanting to experience.
Yeah. But you've got to remember, I was just like you, Chase. I was just an ordinary human being looking for truth, looking to find myself. And I was lucky enough to come in contact with Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh and actually talk to him for 40 minutes, and it changed my whole life. It changed the whole direction of my life because of the presence. Not necessarily because of what he said, because most of what spiritual teachers say is rubbish, but the presence, you know, just the presence. It changed my whole direction from being a businessman to someone who is interested in the way of the heart and a different way of living. And so you've made the step forward. Good on you. That's all that's required. Keep stepping forward.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that, because I can find myself often trying to poke holes in everything that's said or written, and in both a helpful way and an unhelpful way. And it really resonates with me what you said.
Well, if you look hard enough, you'll find that I'm just as imperfect as everybody else, because I was brainwashed like everybody else by my government, my parents, my religion, my peers. And so I have stuff that's broken inside of me, but it's not in the way of truth. It's not in the way of awareness being aware of itself. And so it hasn't been removed, you know? But basically, I'm just ordinary, man. I'm just an ordinary person. The body and the mind is just ordinary. And I'm perfectly broken.
I feel like I need to sit with that.
Well, here's the thing is, if you want a challenge, that's really good fun, because then I get to take you apart, because when you challenge me, you tell me all about you while you're doing it, and you just load me up with ammunition. It's brilliant.
I know, that's what Yeah, I know, and sometimes I don't know if I'm resisting that or if I'm just undoing it in the process of trying to find a question.
Well, it is a destructive process, this process of higher consciousness, in you're removing everything that's an obstacle in the way. We were not programmed at school or at home for higher consciousness. We were programmed to be efficient little machines. And higher consciousness is a different game. So we've got to take away a lot of the belief systems that we were brainwashed with as children and as teenagers and even as adults. And so it's a destructive process. And what I'm trying to do with people is point out these belief systems so they can have a look at them for themselves and see if they can't take them apart. And this is what I can do. It's not just presence, but I can start to help people undo by showing them where they might be stuck, where they might be caught in something. And so if you keep talking to me from time to time, you'll tell me all about yourself, whether you like it or not. The game is afoot, Chase. The game is afoot. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Not yet.
Okay, that's fine. It's nice to say hello to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, Gianni.
Hello, Vishrant.
Hello.
If I'm honest to myself, I feel like there isn't really much that I can say to you that makes any sense in a very good way. But still, I want to say, like, thank you for not going into that bliss and staying with us.
The bliss is always calling because it's always here. I discovered very soon after awakening that all I had to do was move my finger less than a centimetre and it would take me to heaven. And I don't do that because once I go to heaven, I leave this world here and I become ineffective here. And so I stay out here so I can be effective to help people get free. And I started losing it about nearly 20 years ago now. I started losing it. I kept going in and in and in and in, going beyond. And so I bought a motorbike because when you ride a motorbike, you have to be out here. Otherwise the body dies pretty rapidly. And I've been riding motor scooters or motorbikes ever since. And I love motorbikes. Yeah, so I'm out here. I don't have much of a reason to be here except to help people get free. This is my love affair with humanity. I love people. I love helping them. And so I'm here.
Well, you are very effective. Thank you very much.
Nice to talk to you. Where are you, Gianni?
In Germany, where in the very south.
Yes, that's right. I remember I said something like, Ich liebe Deutschland, last time I spoke to you. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Hello, Nesta.
How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Nesta. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Hello. I can't hear you now though. You've done something to your volume, so I can't hear you.
I know you cannot hear me.
I can hear you now. I can definitely hear you now, yeah. You must be somewhere where it's cold. You must be in a cold country because you're wearing a beanie.
I'm outside yet.
Yeah, we've got we've got 30 something degrees centigrade here at 8 o'clock at 8:30 at night time. It's very hot here at the moment, so no one's wearing clothes like you.
That's mother. Good for you.
Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
I just want to. Just want to love you this way.
Yeah. You've been writing on my videos, Nesta. You've been writing on my videos. You've been writing messages on my videos. I've been reading them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not waiting. You watch this. So nice. I love you.
I love you, Nesta.
You're the real deal. I know this. You are the real deal. You are the real deal. Yeah. Yeah.
You're very, very welcome, Nesta.
You don't have any address. I mean, man, you're free. You're free, man. You are not you. There is nobody there. It's amazing. You're so cute. Wow. Real deal, man. I know this. I know this. I
Yeah.
love you so intensely. Wow. Wow. Wow, man. You are. I am calling now from Germany. I am from Spain. This body is made in Spain, but I am now in Germany. And your body is located in Perth, which is not so far away from Germany. I mean, still planet Earth. I think I can connect with you through your videos or your satsangs. I will find the way. I will find the way to you.
You'd be very welcome.
Since you find the way to me.
You'd be very welcome.
Thank you.
Something is calling you. Follow the calling. Something is calling you.
Yeah. I picked the phone. Definitely. Yeah, I picked the phone.
Nice to talk to you, Nesta. Nice to talk to you.
You found the real deal, guys. You know it. Yes, go through the end.
I have gone over time now, Nesta, so I need to say goodbye to everybody. So thank you for Satsang.
Bye for now. Thank you.
Good to see you brave hearts here tonight. Bye, Nesta.